Hi guys, my name's Alycia, and if you don't know who I am, I sell secondhand and vintage clothing on the apps Depop and Poshmark, and every month I make a video talking about what I sold and how much money I made. So today we're going to be talking about what sold for the month of August 2022. So this was a really interesting month. I actually ended up selling 35 different items, which is really good for me. Typically I'd say I average closer to like 20, so 35 is really good. 7 of those sales came from Depop, 8 actually came from Instagram, and 20 came from the Hippie Market. So I actually ended up selling at a market this month, and that actually contributed to most of my sales. So this month is pretty crazy because I didn't make a single sale on Poshmark. That hasn't happened to me in probably years. Poshmark is usually like my go-to kind of like steady platform that I can kind of always count on. So I'm honestly shocked that I didn't sell a single item on there, especially considering I was posting a lot of inventory, a lot of items specifically I thought would do well on Poshmark. And I do have a few theories as to why this could be happening, but we're gonna save that discussion for the end of the video. And also before we get into it, I did want to say that this morning I was actually on the news. I was actually asked to do a segment on thrifting on the news channel CP24. If you guys don't know, it's like a major Toronto news outlet. So that was super exciting. For anyone who's interested, I have the full clip on my Instagram, so I'll definitely leave that below if you guys are interested in checking it out. But yeah, it was really cool. I got to kind of talk about sustainability and thrifting on the news to mainstream media, so that was pretty wild and, you know, a great start into this new month. So felt like I had to mention that, but anyways, let's get into what sold for the month of August. Okay, so the very first thing I sold this month was actually on Depop, and it was for this Silver Star lime green pleather racing jacket. So this one actually took a little bit longer to sell than I thought it would. I picked this up from the Pay by the Pound store a few months ago, so I was glad to see that it finally sold. I think I had it listed for around $70. So when somebody sent me an offer for $60, I happily accepted it. This item actually only cost me about $4 at the Pay by the Pound store, which was amazing. But if you guys recall watching that video where I found this item, it was actually found by my sister Ariana, and we kind of made like a verbal agreement that if it sold, I would split the profits with her 50-50. I felt like that was only fair considering she was the one that found it. So at the end of the day, we each only made $21.52, which isn't like huge for that kind of item, but I was still totally happy with that. Then next I actually made an Instagram sale. So as you guys saw, my Instagram sales also kind of dominated this month, which is awesome because as you know, you don't really have to pay a fee on Instagram, so I tend to make a little bit more money that way. And I find that a lot of my Instagram customers are actually repeat buyers that are in my local area, so they're also saving a ton of money too by not having to pay for shipping. So that has been a really good option for me for selling on Instagram. But anyways, I ended up selling this horse embroidered baseball cap. I ended up selling it for $15 plus $5 shipping. Now I only did $5 shipping because I did ship this letter mail, which is something I only offer on my Instagram. And funny enough, I actually didn't even end up spending any money on shipping because if you guys didn't know, when Canada Post ships your item through letter mail, they are supposed to kind of like cross out the stamp or like mark it to show that it hasn't been used. But clearly, as you can see with this one, they didn't do that. So if you go ahead and reuse this packaging, nobody's gonna tell the difference that the stamp has been used before. So you basically can get free shipping. So that's a little hack. Whenever you get letters in the mail, just double check to see if the stamp is still intact. So that definitely saved me a little bit of money. Plus this hat was only about $5 at the thrift store. So at the end of the day, I made $14.60, which honestly is really good for just like a baseball cap and right around the ideal profit that I want to be making for each item. Then next on Depop, I sold this swat yellow floral dress. This dress was probably one of the most popular items that I've ever sold. It was getting a ton of likes on Depop. I'd also brought it to the previous Hippie Market and a lot of people were really interested trying it on. The only issue with this dress is that it was really tiny, really petite. So I was really just waiting for the right buyer to come along who, you know, this dress would fit really well. And I was honestly starting to have my doubts, like, why did I even buy this? Like, no one's able to wear it, but eventually the right buyer did come along. I actually ended up selling the dress for $40 plus $10 shipping. The dress did cost me around $9-ish at the thrift store. So at the end of the day, I made $23.10, which I was totally happy with. Then next on Instagram, I sold this vintage green floral midi skirt. Midi skirts and maxi skirts have definitely been a huge trend this summer, so I ended up selling that for 25 bucks because this was somebody in my local area did not have to charge or pay for shipping, and this dress cost me right around 5 bucks, meaning that at the end of the day I made about 20 bucks, which was awesome. Then next up, another Instagram sale, I sold this denim by Yule baby doll dress. This one I actually picked up on my trip to the East Coast, and I ended up selling this one for $30. Same thing, did not charge for shipping because it was a local pickup. So at the end of the day, I actually made about $25 off this dress, which was really, really good. A lot of those items I picked up on the East Coast were really cheap, so that really helps with my profit margins. Then next up on Instagram, I actually sold a bundle of this LL Bean flannel lined jeans and these hook and tackle blue cargo shorts. So honestly, I was super glad to see the cargo shorts go just because I bought them a little closer to the beginning of summer, and now we're kind of at the end of the summer. So I was kind of worried they weren't gonna sell, but they finally did, which I was really happy about. Now, because these jeans did have a little bit of like damage, they had a stain on them, I decided to give a really good discount on the bundle, so I sold both of those items for only $40 plus $10 shipping. So both of those items, the jeans and the shorts, only cost me around $8.79. I think the jeans I picked up for only $1, which was really good. Meaning at the end of the day, I made $28.87. So a little bit less than $15 per item, but I was totally happy with that. Then next on Depop, I sold these Jonathan G vintage denim overall shorts. These sold fairly quickly, which I was not surprised by. Overalls always tend to do really well for me. I think somebody did send me an offer on Depop for $49.50 plus $10 shipping, which I thought was totally fair and I accepted. Shipping was a little bit pricier on this item, but I did only pay $4 for the item, so at the end of the day, I still made $29.26, so that was really amazing, especially for just a single item. Then next on Instagram, I sold this vintage Niagara Falls bunny t-shirt. This one ended up selling super quickly, which I'm not surprised, it was really, really cute. Ended up selling that one for $20. Once again, did not have to charge for shipping just because it was a local pickup, and the shirt only cost me around 5 bucks. So at the end of the day, I made $15.49, which was really awesome, especially for just a t-shirt. Now next up, we're going to be getting into my Hippie Market sales. So if you guys watched my last What Sold video, you'll know that it was kind of a little bit of a mess. I did not really disperse the market fee properly amongst the items. So this time I kind of modeled it after Depop and basically divided up the market fee amongst each item depending on the price of the item. So more expensive items are gonna have a higher fee, less expensive items are gonna have a lower fee, but at the end of the day, it all adds up to $95. Which is what I paid for the market fee. So hopefully this makes a little more sense and gives a little bit better of an accurate idea of my profits for each item. So first things first, ended up selling this Teddy reworked denim jacket. That was my first sale of the day, which was amazing. Ended up selling that for $85, of course. We don't have to charge for shipping at the market. This jacket did cost me about $20 to make just for the jacket itself and the pillow I used to rework it. And according to the price of this item, the market fee is about $13.11 on this item. So at the end of the day, I still made $52.62 off of this jacket, which was really amazing. Probably one of my highest margins for my rework jacket. So really, really happy about that. That definitely really gave us a good head start at the market, and covered about half of my market fee just for that single item, so that was really good. Then next up, sold these Guess vintage blue jeans. Wow, I really thought these would have sold a long time ago just because I feel like vintage Guess jeans are quite rare to find, and I had them at a pretty fair price, I think. But they ended up selling at the market for $40. Market fee was about $6.18 for this item. Now these I did pay like $17 for at the thrift store, which is quite expensive. Sometimes I think like what was I thinking paying that much? So at the end of the day, I only made about $16.67, which is still really good, but it always feels a little weird when your profit is less than like what you paid for the item, you know what I mean? You didn't even like double what you paid for, but still totally happy with that. Then next at the market, I sold these Levi's dark gray blue patch shorts. These ones I actually reworked. They were these jeans and they kind of had these ink stains all over them, so I wanted to be able to give them a new life and make them wearable again, so I did add the patches to them. And these were actually purchased by a fellow vendor, so that was very, very sweet. But ended up selling those for $20. All of my jeans at the market were priced at $20. The market fee for this item was around $3, so at the end of the day, I made close to $17, which was actually really, really good. Then next sold these Lewis vintage striped dead stock shorts, another item that I picked up recently on the East Coast. These were really cool because they were like brand new with tags, so I also ended up selling them for $20, which I think is a really good deal. Same thing, the market fee ended up being around $3, and they did cost me about $6 when I picked them up. So for this item, I only made about $10.96, but still super happy. Then next sold a bundle of this Hawaii map white t-shirt, which I don't even have a picture of because right before I was getting ready for the market, I realized I didn't really have that many t-shirts, so I just kind of pulled a few from my personal collection that I hadn't worn in a while, and this happened to be one of them. So really glad that I pulled it because it ended up selling, along with this tradition vintage green floral button up. So I ended up selling both those items for $40. The market fee cost about $6-ish for both of those. Now I did pay close to $15 for both the t-shirt and the button up, meaning that at the end of the day I only made $19.10, so a little bit less than $10 per item, which is a little bit under my goal. But keep in mind, this was an item for my personal collection. This wasn't something I was like planning on selling, so I was still really happy with that. Then next up sold these Calvin Klein pink vintage shorts. So like I said, priced all my shorts at $20, and clearly that really helped my short sales because I ended up selling quite a few. And somebody did actually end up bundling those shorts with one of my handmade strawberry pet bandanas. So I ended up selling both of those items for $30. Market fee was about $4.50. And I did pay $10.38 for the shorts, meaning that at the end of the day, I made about $15.06 for both of those items. So still happy about that. Then next at the market, I sold this Dawn Kenny Brown pattern button up. Was super happy to see these like pattern button ups finally selling. Ended up selling that one for $20. Market fee was about $3. And I actually picked this up from the Goodwill bin, so it was super cheap at only $1.43. Meaning that I made about $15.53 off of this item, which was really good. Then next sold this Marnie West vintage blue floral dress, another pretty popular item. There was at least like 2 or 3 people who tried this dress on at the market, so wasn't surprised it sold. I think it was in a few people's bags on Depop as well. So super excited to see it go to a new home because it was truly like a really beautiful dress. So I ended up selling it for $30. The market fee was about $4.50. And I only paid $3.25 for this dress when I was in the States. So super good deal, meaning that I made about $22.19. So super happy about that. Then next up sold this twirl rainbow knit sweater. Even though it's like the peak of summer, I feel like sweaters always do well at market. So was not too surprised to see this sell. Ended up selling it for $20. Once again, market fee was about $3. And I picked this up from the thrift store for only $3.94. So at the end of the day, I made $13.02, which I was happy with. Then I ended up selling this French Connection white ruffled sleeve dress. This one has been in my inventory for so long. I've done multiple like inventory clean outs where I've almost gotten rid of this item, but something just told me to hang on to it because I think it's so cute, and I was so surprised that it hadn't sold until now. And the girl who bought it was just like so sweet. She said she was looking for a white dress, and like it was just, you know, the perfect match. So I ended up selling that one for $30. Once again, market fee was $4.50. This dress was donated to me like a long time ago, so I ended up making $25.44, which was really good. Then ended up selling another pet bandana, this time in this like teddy bear print. Super surprised that I sold any of these considering I didn't even have like a table for them. They were kind of just like randomly placed throughout my booth, so that was great. I ended up selling it for $10. Market fee was about $1.50. Bandanas don't really cost me anything except for my time, so at the end of the day, I made $8.48, which was really good, especially for just like a small little bandana. Then next up sold another one of my reworked pieces. This time it was the Polo Bears reworked denim vest. So super exciting because this item is a vest. I did list it a little bit cheaper compared to the full-on jacket, so ended up selling that one for $55. Market fee would have been about $8.46. And I did end up picking up this jacket off of Poshmark a while ago for only $9.24. And the reason I was able to get it for so cheap is because I think I basically only had to pay shipping for the item, because if you guys didn't know, when you use my Poshmark code to sign up for Poshmark, I actually get like I think a $15 credit that I can use towards my purchases. So that has definitely helped me a lot because every once in a while, you know, I get this like $10, $15 discount. So thank you so much to anybody who has used my code, because it's definitely, you know, lowered my cost of goods for sure. So because I was able to get it for fairly cheap, I was able to make $37.31 off of that item, which was really good. Then next up, sold this S. Roberts vintage linen floral midi dress. Another one that was pretty popular. I ended up selling that one for $30. Market fee was about $4.50, and I did pay about $9.37 for the dress, meaning that I made about $16.07 at the end of the day. Then ended up selling one of my handmade bucket hats. It was this Polo Bears patchwork bucket hat. I sell all of my bucket hats for $40. Market fee would have been about $6.18 on that item, meaning that at the end of the day I made $33.83. So super good. Then ended up selling another handmade item, which is so cool that people, you know, are interested in the things I make. This time it was a handmade hair bandana. Those I sell for $15, meaning that the market fee would have been about $2.30. So I made $12.72, which was good. Then I ended up selling a third reworked jacket, which was crazy. It was this Love Conquers All reworked jacket. This one, I was honestly so happy to finally find a new home, because I actually made this jacket back in November of last year. So I'd almost had it for getting close to a year. And like when I made it, I had such high hopes for it, but I feel like as time goes on and you have to keep like staring at this item, you start to doubt yourself and you're like, why did I make this? Like, is this even cute? Like, what was I thinking? But clearly somebody really liked it, because they ended up buying it for $85, meaning that the market fee would have been around $13. And this jacket was actually really cheap for me to make at only $8.78, because I did actually thrift this jacket in Paris for only €1, which is crazy. And then the pillow I used was, you know, only a few more dollars. So at the end of the day, I actually made $63.11 off of that jacket, which was really good. And I think the highest profit margin for a jacket that day for sure. Then next up, I ended up selling this 80s colorful button-up shirt. Sold that for $20, meaning that the market fee would have been around $3, and I only paid $3.94 for it at the thrift store, meaning that I made about $13.02. And then lastly, the very last sale of the day at the Hippie Market. It was actually right when we were packing up. Like, I literally was like putting all my stuff away, and I had only left like one part of my rack open. But luckily somebody did end up finding something they liked, and they ended up purchasing this Bali vintage jean print midi skirt. This one was super cool and unique, so I wasn't surprised that it sold. Ended up selling it for $25, making the market fee around $3.80. And I only paid $3 for this at the thrift store, meaning that I ended up making $18.20 off of this item, which was really, really good. So that was all my Hippie Market sales. If you guys want to watch my Hippie Market vlog, you can definitely check that out. I'll leave it linked above, because honestly, it was a lot of fun, and clearly that's where I'm making a lot of my sales. I mean, who knows how many sales I would have made this month without the market. It's hard to tell sometimes, because, you know, a lot of those items I did sell, you know, likely would have ended up selling online, but who knows, right? And then after the market, I did make a few more sales. Firstly, ended up selling this bundle of the Xana D Y2K cargo shorts and this white stag denim gingham midi dress. This was purchased by one of my viewers who's actually a repeat customer, so thank you so much if you're watching. They were super sweet and asked me for a discount. And like I've mentioned before, if you're one of my viewers, I'm way more likely to give you a discount. So they basically said like, hey, how low can you go for each item? So I basically lowered the price to $25 each, meaning that I ended up making $50 plus $15 for shipping, because this item was going to the US. Both of those items only cost me about $6.37, which is really good, because I did pick them up while I was thrifting in America, meaning that I still ended up making $37.58. So super, super good, close to $20 per item. So was super happy that I was able to give this customer a really good discount and still make enough money that I was satisfied. Then next on Depop, sold this Avia blue sport mini skirt. This one I actually ended up picking up for myself, but quickly realized I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would. I'm definitely more into the more like, I guess, casual skirts rather than the sporty ones. So threw it up on my Depop, didn't really expect much, but it ended up selling super quick. I feel like that happens so much. It's always the items that I don't think are gonna sell the quickest, but ended up selling that for $35 plus $10 shipping. Only paid about $4 for it at the thrift store, so Ended up making $22.75 off of it at the end of the day, so super, super good. Then next on Depop, I actually sold another skirt. So skirts were kind of popping off at the end of the month here, but sold this Contempo vintage wrap mini skirt. Ended up selling that one for $40 plus $10 shipping. Paid about $5 for it at the thrift store, meaning that I made about $26.12. So super, super good. And then lastly, made a couple more Instagram sales right at the end of the month. The first one was for this Studio Mode vintage pink floral midi skirt. I ended up selling that one for $25. Once again, a local pickup, so just flat rate $25, no shipping. Only paid about $3 for it at the thrift store, meaning that I made $22, which was really good. And then the very last sale of the month was also on Instagram. It was for this Peanut Snoopy comic crop tee. Sold that for $15, once again a local pickup. This was a consignment item, so I was splitting the profits with a friend, meaning that at the end of the day, we both made $7.50. So probably one of my lower profit margins for the month, but honestly, for just like a little t-shirt that I didn't have to, risk an investment in, I was happy with that. Wow, so that is everything that I ended up selling this month. So of course, I'm gonna go ahead, add everything up, and we're gonna figure out exactly how much money I made this month. All right, guys, so this month I ended up making $703.60. So that is crazy because this is actually the first time I've broken $700, meaning that this is actually my best month of all time. So that is super, super exciting. I feel like each month it just gets harder and harder to kind of like beat your goals. So that was really cool. Even though I only beat it by like $10-ish, we finally broke 700, so I think that's really cool. Is it a livable wage? No, but it's definitely a nice chunk of change. So this means that my average profit per item ended up being $20.10, which is super, super good. Typically my goal is a minimum of 10, so that's even double my goal. I think it definitely helped selling like a lot of higher ticket items. And something that I thought was really interesting is for the amount of items I ended up selling at the market, it roughly translates to about like a 15% fee per item, whereas Depop is like a 10% fee technically. So I definitely like paid more to sell my clothes in person rather than online, but I feel like it totally pays off because, that's where I ended up selling most of my items for the month. And then of course, wanted to mention my sell-through rate. So this month I actually ended up listing 38 items and sold 35. Meaning that I had a sell-through rate of 92%, which is honestly really, really high, and I'm super proud of that. And it's really nice to know that, I should be just like buying more and, not holding back too much because clearly it's selling. So that has been my goal this past month, to try to list more, but it is really hard, to be honest. Like even just listing 10 items per week is so much work. So definitely gonna keep working on that. So another super successful month. Super proud of myself. Wanted to say huge thank you to anyone who bought something from my store this month. It means so much to me that you guys think my items are cool enough that you want to buy them. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did want to talk about Poshmark. So I think there are a couple different reasons why Poshmark did not perform well this month. If you guys didn't know, back in July, there was this new sales tax introduced in Canada where by law, both Depop and Poshmark and most online platforms are required to charge a sales tax, meaning that the customers are going to be paying more for each of their items. So that could be a possibility to why people aren't buying as much as online. But I still made 7 Depop sales, so that can't quite be everything, right? I personally think it has to do with Poshmark's new feature where they've made it super easy to share your listings. Before on Poshmark, in order to share your listings, you did have to go and manually select every single item before hitting share, and that was like, a little bit of work, but wasn't like too difficult. Now Poshmark has this feature where all you have to do is click select all, and it will automatically select all of your items for you, meaning that it's going to be a lot more easier for people to share their listings, meaning that there's going to be a lot more competition. And I feel like people have been asking for this feature to make it super easy to share listings for a long time, and I was always really weary of it because I was like, guys, if it's too easy, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. And I think that's what's kind of is happening right now. I feel like the only way now to keep up is you're gonna have to be refreshing your listings so often, and I'll admit I have been slacking a little bit on my Poshmark sharing. This past month I was sick a couple days ago, so there was a couple days where I didn't share my listings at all. So I personally don't like this feature. I feel like I said, it's just way too easy now to share your listings, to the point where it's basically like you're not even sharing it, because, you know, by the time you share your listings, there's going to be so many other people sharing their listings at the same time, and your items aren't going to get seen. So, but if you guys want to get ahead of the game with sharing your Poshmark listings, I'll definitely leave my link to download Seller Aider in the description below, because that is definitely going to help you share a little bit quicker. I'm really curious, how have your guys' Poshmark sales been? Do you guys think this, you know, could be what is causing lower sales? I don't know. So maybe for September, I'm gonna try to focus more on sharing my Poshmark listings more. I usually do twice a day, but clearly that's not enough. And trying to be a little bit more active on Poshmark, sending offers, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much everything from me. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.